Welcome to the show. I'm so excited today to have my dear friend Susie Mierzwik back with us today. I'm Dr. Laurie Davis, and you're listening to the Dr. Laurie Davis Show, streaming live right now on E360 TV, our YouTube channel, Laurie Davis Show Host, and also on our Facebook page, Self Worth, the Missing Link Superstars. And Susie's definitely one of those. Good morning, Susie.
Good morning, Laurie. So wonderful to be on your show.
Well, it's wonderful to have you back. And thank you for being here because we've made some changes to the show. I'm not sure if you're aware. And on Wednesdays, we focus on wellness. So I couldn't think of a better person to launch that than you. And coming to us today with some alternative ways to take care of pain and manage our health and wellness. So I'd love you to start off by sharing your personal story. You know, the one that I love.
Yes.
And then we'll move into your product line. Okay, Susie, over to you.
Okay, so I'm just happy to be on this show, Laurie, be able to explain to your listeners an awesome technology that will enhance and transform their life. So just to briefly say my story, I am a retired school teacher, but in 2000, I was suffering with quite severe arthritis, and my hands were like this to help the children to hold their pencil, tell them how to write, and just conduct the day. Somebody came into my classroom whose student I had 12 years earlier, and she said, "My son is graduating from high school." And then we started to chat, and I knew she was a teacher. So I said, "Are you still a nurse?" She said, "No, I got injured on the job, but someone introduced me to a fantastic product." So I said, "Well, tell me more." She said, "What's wrong with your hands?" And I said, "Well, the doctor says I have arthritis and I'm taking medication and pills and cream and all that, but nothing seems to help." So she said, "Well, I have a technology that you have to try." So naturally, I was curious. And after a week or so of investigating it, I decided to take a look at it. The little product is called Life Wave, like the wave on the ocean. And it's something that you put on your body. There's different spots you can put it on. For convenience, I put it on my hand so all the watchers and viewers can see it. But it can go on your body in different spots like your belly button or your back. And it sends a signal to your brain. What it does is it helps your body to get rid of pain.
Wow. And I see on your banner behind you there, quick drug free pain relief.
Pain relief. Yes. And so since 2009, I've helped my clients to attain a pain-free and drug-free life. Now, a lot of people think, oh, well, if you want to be pain-free, you just have to stay on drugs. But luckily, that is no longer true. There are other, better, healthier ways of living our life that are in tune with our body and not against our body. And that's what LifeWave is all about. It helps the body to heal in an optimum way by putting the body in a state where it can heal instead of being in distress.
Excellent. Now, we know there are different, we know that the patches they're not a curing thing, right? It's not to cure, it's to support the body to heal itself.
Yes.
So there are those specific products and patches for specific issues. So let's have you walk us through what some of those are.
Okay. Well, let's just say I met you for the first time. I would say, so Laurie, is there anything in your health that is troubling you? And let's just say you had pain of any kind. It could be back pain, knee pain, shoulder pain, neck pain. We all have pain at some time or other. Well, the first product I would probably introduce is called Ice Wave. Now, when you think about ice, if you bump your elbow, sometimes you go get an ice pack and put it on because we know that ice helps things to feel better. Well, this product called Ice Wave was invented to create endorphins in the body. So we're not introducing anything foreign. There's no chemicals, there's no drugs, there's no opiates, but it's letting the body release its own natural substances so the body can heal. And then you would put the patches on the area of your pain.
So let's say I have lower back pain.
So then if you had lower back pain, you would put the patch right where it hurt you.
Okay.
You see? And the only requirement is that you be hydrated. And we know that hydration is important for so many different ways. And this is how the body conducts energy, because we're energetic beings. We can even see our energy signature if we have night vision goggles. If you've ever seen a picture of animals on the desert at night, it looks like, you know, the little rabbit or the fox or the owl is an image. Or for instance, when the military look out of the helicopters, they can see people on the field below them as images because of the infrared signature. So that's why we drink water. Our body has its own infrared energy. This little patch is just turning it on.
Wow. Like a switch.
Yes, like a switch, exactly. Nothing more. I don't have to drink anything except water. I don't have to take any pills. I don't have to put lotion on. It's all because the patch is sending a signal to the brain.
Wow. Isn't technology amazing?
It is. It's
when it's used for the good.
Different countries and be sitting down having a conversation is awesome. We know that they conduct the pathway of a rocket ship going into outer space by sitting at a computer and sending a computer signal that tells that rocket ship where to go. We can open our garage door with a little clicker. We can turn on our television with a clicker. So why not have a little patch that tells our brain how to heal the body?
Exactly. Exactly. Let's talk a little bit about, okay, so that's one aspect. So what if someone has a health condition like diabetes or, you know, something that's chronic that they're dealing with? What would you recommend for that?
Well, that's a great question. And as we know, just by listening to the commercials on television, every night when I am working on my computer or listening on my phone, in the background, I can hear them telling commercials. If you have A, B, C, or D disease, and I notice they call everything by alphabetical letters. If you have ADJ, then you have to take, you know, this drug. If you have XYZ, then you take this drug. And then the next night, they have a whole alphabetical listing of other drugs and other courses of disease that this is supposed to cure. Wow. However, when we have a chronic condition, like you've just mentioned, with blood sugar, with blood pressure, with cholesterol, any of these things that are systemic, most issues stem back to inflammation. Now, sometimes we just think of inflammation as something I can see. Oh, like I bumped my elbow, so now it's swollen. I can see the inflammation. But the inflammation can be on the inside of our body. You know, we can have inflammation in our arteries, on our internal organs, or anything that we can't even see, but it's affecting us. Another cause of distress that's very, very common is caused by toxins. Now, what do I mean by toxins? I mean, it doesn't have to be anthrax or Agent Orange, although I have had clients, yes, that responded to those terrible toxins by using the LifeWave technology. But toxins for me, for instance, can be gluten. Something as simple as a piece of bread is toxic to my body. Strawberries are toxic to some people. Seafood is toxic to some people. Those are some examples. However, products that we use every day, we spray our windows with ammonia to clean the windows. Then we put other chemicals on our food surfaces and chop the salad on it. You see, we go out in the yard and we put chemicals on our garden or on our grass. We have makeup. We have all different kinds of things, beauty and healthcare products that, by the way, the European Union does not even allow in their arsenal, but yet in the US, all these products are on sale in our stores every day. If you eat boxed food, let's just pretend this is a box of food, you have to look at the ingredients because there are all kinds of words that you cannot pronounce. These are chemicals or additives, substances that our body does not recognize, so therefore they're toxins in the body. So basically, when toxins get stored up over a lifetime, our body wants to be in balance. But if things tip, things go sideways, now all of a sudden people say, oh, all of a sudden I have high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, and they think that it happened overnight like a bolt of lightning.
Right.
But it didn't. It was creeping up over 30, 40, 50, 60 years, and the inflammation and the toxins suddenly make the balance go sideways. So then people become symptomatic and they have to go to the doctor. And the doctor says, oh, you have the XYZ condition. So now you have to take this supposedly magic substance, which is another toxin that your body doesn't recognize.
Totally.
Yeah. So then you get a side effect from that: nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, headaches.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And they tell you all that when they're advertising the drug, which they of course need to do by law. But when you listen to the side effects, it ends up being worse than what you're taking the medication for in the first place.
That's true. And you know, many of my clients have unfortunately been in that position where the doctor has diagnosed them with A, B, C degrees of condition, and they give them some medication that throws their body completely out of balance. Several of them have even been diagnosed with very strong diseases, and they're taking a stream of medication that is actually worsening their health until they finally reach me and they hear about me and they say, oh my gosh, the doctor said I had ABC. Can you help? So the first thing we have to do is we ask the question, do you have pain? Inevitably, most conditions involve pain of some sort. So I said, okay, let's patch for the pain. Okay. But beyond that, if they've been suffering with something for a long time and it's chronic, that means it hasn't gone away. The body is saying, I'm out of balance. What can I do to restore homeostasis? So then I said, well, you can do something. You can do something that's called detoxification. That sounds like a big word, but all it involves is putting a couple of patches on the body that now allow the toxins to be released from the body, which is why we drink the water.
And what patch would that be?
Well, it's usually a combination of patches. They are called glutathione and energy enhancer. Now, one of the first things I used when I had my very bad arthritic hands back in 2009 was glutathione. So I Googled it and I found out that glutathione is in every one of our cells. Mm-hmm. It's a natural amino acid that's in our cells. However, as we get older, just like an old car, things start to get out of balance. Things start to work less functionally. Our stem cells, for instance, are getting older. So our body doesn't produce what it used to back in the good old days. And that allows toxins and inflammation to build up in our body and cause all kinds of havoc. So when we put a little glutathione patch on the body, which is typically just on the belly button, I mean, how easy is that? This builds glutathione in our own liver, and now the body is able to detoxify whatever has been building up over the decades. Sometimes we have to add this patch, which is called Energy Enhancer. That's not Red Bull, it's not Coca-Cola, it's not any kind of chemical substances. But what it does is it opens up all the energy channels, and I kind of describe them as the freeways of the body. If there's an accident on the freeway,
Oops, she's frozen.
if the body is clogged with inflammation and toxins, there's no energy going through. See, so
Right.
it sometimes manifests as a pain in some part of the body. Inflammation and toxins create a pain. So when you put this patch on, it's just like a tow truck on the freeway. It opens up the channels. We drink our water. The energy can flow through, and the body starts to heal.
Wow.
It's amazing.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Yay. You're getting me all re-excited again. Wow. Mm-hmm.
That's how it works. Simple.
Right. Now, what about, how us women are always concerned about our good looks? It's okay to have the charm, but we're concerned about our skin and aging. Anything around that area that you could talk about?
Yes. And that's why even if someone doesn't experience pain, if they're blessed and don't experience any pain, we're still getting older, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we know that we have stem cells, which can turn into any kind of cell the body needs. Now, LifeWave has a technology which is called X39. Just happens to be the 39th patch that David Schmidt invented. What this patch does, it tells our brain to create a copper peptide. Now, we don't have to know about all this. We don't have to know about vitamin B and what it does and vitamin D and what it does. All we have to know is, oh, I need new stem cells because I'm over the age of 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, or whatever. I know that my body's getting older. So if my skin needs attention, if I feel full of aches and pains, if I have less energy than I used to, if I have problems sleeping, if it takes me a long time to heal, these are all things that happen as we get older. Now, if we put on an X39, we start to regenerate our own stem cells. No surgery, no injections, no drugs. Our brain is now tuned to the frequency of producing more stem cells.
Cool. That's amazing.
And there's no side effects. Unlike those drugs that they advertise on the television, at least in the US.
Oh, here too.
Yes. It takes them longer to tell you the side effects than it does the benefits.
Well, I know. We watch it all the time. It's there. But yet we're not allowed to advertise cigarettes or alcohol, but we can advertise pharma, right?
Right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But those things are available to our young people.
Yes, I know. And, and then we never really talked about the toxins as it relates to addictions. If you have addictions, alcohol, drugs, you're smoking weed, those are severe ways to put toxins in your system, correct?
Yes. And that is why if you are a healthcare practitioner, a therapist, or any number of people, you might have clients that suffer with some of those emotional issues. Taking another drug might not be the best thing for them. But for instance, is a product that can address a lot of things. This one balances the nervous system. There's the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. We don't even have to know about that. All we know is that when we put this little patch from Eon on the back of our neck, it creates a relaxation response. So you're not taking drugs, you're not smoking a cigarette, you're not vaping, you're not inhaling any kind of poisonous substance, you're not drinking alcohol. You're just telling the body to be at homeostasis. So people that are full of anxiety, when I put the Eon patch on them, it's like they take an audible
Oh, wow.
and they feel the relaxation. And we know that many people suffer from anxiety that creates medical conditions. They'll say, oh, the doctor said I had an ulcer, or, headaches, or sciatica, or whatever the case may be. I'm not a medical doctor, but they said something is related to stress. You see, so stress has so many bad effects on the body. What if you could put on a little patch without any drugs in it and just put your body at rest, at balance?
Yeah. Well, I am sure that there are people who would say, wow, this sounds too good to be true.
It's true.
Um,
There
and
are.
this sounds good. But I always say, what you really mean, what you're really saying is, this is too good to be true for me.
Yes, that's
That's what
very
people
true.
are really, really expressing. They don't realize that that's what they're saying. But, there are people who actually don't think they deserve to be well. And so that's
Yes.
where, you know, uh, supporting people emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. But what I'm hearing you say, the patches can put that together. And
Yes,
those are
that's true.
actually the four quadrants of the indigenous medicine wheel: physically, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. So, what I'm hearing you say is there are the variety of patches would actually serve all four quadrants of that medicine wheel.
That's true. And that's where your empowerment workshops come in, Laurie, because you are 100% correct. Very many times I have talked to somebody and I have heard them describing their pain or their discomfort or their anxiety or whatever the case. And I might suggest that they try LifeWave. In some cases, they'll say, oh no, my husband needs it, or, my daughter-in-law needs it, or, the lady next door needs it. And this is another funny thing that happens. Sometimes I'll see on Facebook somebody is very concerned because their dog or cat, and both of those have happened in the last week, has undergone surgery or got attacked by another animal or something or other, is in dire straits. So then I get in contact with them quickly. I say, put the patch on your dog or cat. Well, they are so thankful to realize that there is a solution for their precious pet.
Right.
But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, in the past, I asked this individual about using the patches for their own issues, which they've described, but they don't want to try it. However, when it comes to their precious pet, they say, oh, where do I put the patch?
Oh, wow. Wow. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the patch itself. We've talked about how it can support us, but the use of the patch, does it have a shelf life? And what kind of time frames are we looking at for people to experience the results?
Yes, and those are great questions. Those are some of the first questions that people ask. Well, how long does it last? So I have this patch on my hand, for exclamation, and the patch is active on the body for 12 hours. So basically, you put it on in the morning. I say, when you brush your teeth, get ready for the day, put on your patches. Don't have to think about it except for making sure you're drinking your water throughout the day. When you get ready for bed 12 hours later or approximately, you can take off the patch, brush your teeth, get ready for bed. If you
So,
forget, no problem, because the patch, the crystals inside the patch are only active for about 12 hours. For some people, it might last 14 or 15 because we're all different, but it doesn't have any harm because nothing is going in the body. So it's not like you took a bottle of aspirin and then you took too much aspirin over the prescribed time period. So now you have a problem. So this cannot happen with the patch, whether you forgot to take it off after 12 hours or you left it on till the next morning. There's no problem, because after 12 hours, it's stopped its active function.
Is it best to wear it during the day when you're moving around, or is that the
Yes.
reason
For most people, I would say yes, except there's a caveat. I remember years ago, I had a client that was using the sleep patches called Silent Night. And she later reported to me, she said, "Oh, I'm so tired during the day." And I said, "Well, when are you using the sleep patches?" She said, "Well, all day." Okay, so now we have to think about that. If we're not going to sleep, let's not put on a sleep patch.
Right.
But if you are going to sleep, that's when you would wear your sleep patch. Another one that's great at night is called Alavita.
Oh,
this
wow.
one also helps you sleep like a baby. And it also makes your skin younger and healthier. So you can use this at night. And sleep patches, if you have pain, I would say sure. If you have pain at night, use your pain relief patches. Okay. But other than that, I say, just get up in the morning, prepare for your day, and patch up, and then take it off at bedtime.
I know we have lots of success stories, and we'll get to those in a few minutes, but just another second part to that question was, okay, so I start taking the patches, putting them on for different things, whatever it is.
Yes.
I know it would be different for each individual, but how soon have you heard from your clients that they started to see or feel the difference? What's been the shortest? What's been the longest? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. And the main thing I like to assure everybody is that we are all 100% different. I don't know how it is. I haven't had a pair of identical twins in my experience, but that would be interesting to find out. However, some people, when they put on the ice wave for pain relief, and this is the ice wave. So for instance, if people have sciatica, I say, okay, put one of the patches where it is the most painful, and usually it's on where the back pocket of your jeans is. They put one patch there and another patch where the pain goes down the leg. Very often, within minutes, the people feel the result. So what that means is they'll say, "Oh, I started out with pain at a 10, and now it's down to a 5." Ooh. Well, can you imagine having half of the intensity of pain within a 10-minute time span?
Wow.
And nothing went in your body except, your bottle of water. So that's how fast it can work. Now, in some people, we know that chronic conditions have occurred over 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So the body has stored up inflammation, has stored up toxins, and it's going to take a while for those toxins to be released. So in that case, people usually notice feeling better after a few days. And you think that's not bad. If you suffered for something for a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, and you start to feel relief within a week or even 2 weeks, that's remarkable.
Wow.
Now, some people do take longer because, life hits us all differently. Some people have had car accidents that they still suffer from, from back in their 20s, and now they're in their 50s or 60s. So not all cases are the same. And that's basically the first thing I say. Everybody is different. We can tell you in general what will happen, but your rate of recovery, wellness, feeling better is going to depend on you. And again, it depends on your wellness strategies. If you rarely drink water and you only drink energy drinks and coffee, your body is not going to respond as well as someone who's hydrated. Now, and I don't want to mention any chronic conditions because we do not diagnose, treat, or try to cure anything, but we know what those lifestyle issues are, things that start to creep up on people after a number of decades, after their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, they feel that it's inevitable that they should have, X, Y, and Z condition. So those people might take a little longer. And I usually suggest, based on those historical factors, that the person do use the detox protocol. Because we can't expect to clean out our closet if we've been accumulating things for 50 years. It's not going to happen in 1 hour, right? We might have to go back to that closet an hour a day for a week, or call in a specialist, an organizer, to help us get rid of what's no longer needed. So in a similar fashion, if we do it over a week or a couple of weeks consistently, now we can feel the body starting to get better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what, just for example, one of my clients said, "Oh, Susie, the doctor said I have to start taking medicine for high blood pressure." And I said, "Wow, how do you feel about that?" And she said, "I'm very worried because I know that there's severe side effects." So I said, "Well, why don't you try putting energy patches, because these are the ones that open up energy channels in the body. I suggest trying putting one of these patches under each foot, white on the right, tan on the left. See what happens." She did. A couple of days later, she texted me. She said, "My blood pressure used to be such and such. I use these patches on the bottoms of my feet. Now my blood pressure is such and such. So I am not curing, treating, or diagnosing any condition. I'm just suggesting that she open up the energy channels so that the body can start to heal itself."
Well, the amazing thing about that is our bodies were designed to do exactly that.
Right.
But we have to be giving it the right things to do that.
Yes.
And we all know about, the quality of our fruits and vegetables has gone downhill. The quality of our lifestyle, just go, 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 busy, busy, busy. All these things impact our health. And
Yes.
It sounds to me like the patches are a wonderful alternative way to help the body do its job. And I have my own personal story, which I'll share. And then I'd love for you to share some other success stories that you know about. And before the show ends, though, I want people to know how to get in touch with you. There is also a career opportunity attached. There's all kinds of great things.
Yes.
So, my own story happened last year. As you know, I was diagnosed with cancer. And this time last summer, I could not go anywhere because I had doctor's appointments, upcoming surgery, the whole 9 yards. And I was really scared. And I thought, wow, I've got to really take charge here. I was blessed with the best of medical team and all that, and am cancer free. And I ended up not taking any medication after the fact. I didn't have any radiation or chemo. The operation was successful and they got it all. I had a hysterectomy. However, my recovery time, my doctors couldn't believe it. And I talked to Susie. She said, patch here, patch there. I had my whole tummy patched up, my back, everywhere around me. And at the very same time, a week before I was to go to surgery, my husband, Ron, fell with his face landing in the sidewalk. And he was all banged up, and we patched him up. And those patches, he was like 3 days, and his face was almost healed, and he had 6 stitches across his eye, and he was a mess. So I have my own personal stories, but those supports, I shall call them, support system of the patches accelerated my own recovery. The pain, they gave me pain medication, which I never had to take. So it was, that's my success story as it relates to LifeWave and the patches. And thank you to you, Susie, for always introducing me. And I have 2 people that I need you to talk to right away.
Certainly.
And so that's my story. So you have your story and I have my story now. And I didn't have a story when I met you
Right.
because I had never been sick and I had not been in a hospital in 30 years. And I'm thinking, why would I want to do this?
An extraordinary human being, Laurie.
And then I'm in need, right? So we might not need what you're talking about or don't think we need, but in all my work, I'm very big on prevention. So why wouldn't we do this to prevent a certain oncoming disease or whatever condition? So yes, thank you very much, Susie. I'm just so grateful to you. Over to you. Do you have another like amazing success stories? A client
Yes.
that you worked with that has a
One of
great
my
story?
favorite success stories is actually my own husband. Back in 2016, he went to the dentist in the morning, and then when he came back, he tripped over the garden hose. Later on in the afternoon, his voice started to sound a little strange, and I noticed his face was getting a little bit awkward looking. So I said, honey, what's happening with you? And he says, I don't know. I just went to the dentist, but I just feel weird. So I Googled stroke symptoms after dental work. And I said, honey, I think you might have had a stroke. Well, by the time this happened, it was like 10 hours after the dentist appointment. And I said, let me put these patches on you and then we'll go to the emergency room, 5 minutes later. He said, no, I don't want to go to the emergency room. We'll just go in the morning. So I put the patches on all of the acupuncture points that I knew were the key in the body because I have charts. He could feel the energy going through his body. He went to sleep that night. We go to the doctor, the emergency room the next morning. And I said, my husband thinks he had a stroke yesterday. So they started putting all the electrodes and everything on him. They said, yes, you had a stroke, but you have no damage.
Whoa.
So I credit the fact, and I did give him an aspirin at the point where he said he thought something had happened, the day before. However, I'm saying that the patches, I believe, prevented him from having damage, so that by the time he got to the doctor, which was, like way outside of the golden hour, he didn't even know anything happened the first, 8 hours. This prevented him from having damage in my estimation. Okay. I'm not a medical doctor, but he was checked out by all the doctors in the hospital with all the EKGs and all the readings and everything. So they certified that there was nothing wrong. They kept him overnight for observation, but then the next week we went on a long-term vacation. So that's my happiest story.
Wow.
Last year, myself, we like to ride bikes, and I'm only 73 and a half, so I'm still not that old. But we were going up a very stiff grade, and I stopped momentarily, and my bike fell over. I landed, unfortunately, on my knee. Well, I actually did crack my patella. So after I got scraped off the ground, put back, and taken to the doctor, they took x-rays, and yes, I had a fractured knee. Well, I patched my knee up with the pain relief patches and the stem cell regeneration. In 6 weeks, I was healed, and I never took one pill for pain. So it can be that impressive. Other people that have had sciatica, I put the patches on them. Within a half an hour, the sciatic pain is reduced. Other clients have had plantar fasciitis, which is a fancy term for your foot hurts very severely. They went to the doctors. They did whatever the doctor said. They went to physical therapy. They did whatever the physical therapist said. But then they come to me and they say, Susie, I've already been to the doctor. I've already been to the physical therapist. Can you help me? Yes, I can help them. Can take away the pain in days, and it doesn't come back. So these are just a few stories. Other clients recovering from cancer. Remember, we don't treat or diagnose anything, but after the exhaustive effects of their cancer treatment, they wish to resume their normal, active, busy lives. So using the patches, they have regained full energy, are up to speed, able to handle an 8-hour day, take care of their family in the evening, and resume their career with no more drugs. So in other people, what is that? When the front of your foot gout. Yeah, it doesn't matter what the condition is. Some people struggle with that. Patch it up in days. Amazing recovery. So as I say, I like to say anything head, shoulders, knees, or toes. Patch it up and feel better. Some people within hours, some people within days, some people within weeks, but I can guide them through the process because we're all different and we all have a different history of where our life has led us.
Absolutely. So Susie, I'm going to share the show after the show. That's the best time to share it, I believe, after we have our calls. And I'm going to share this. So let's put a banner up. I've got your email there, but if somebody was interested in purchasing some patches or putting in an order, what's the best way to do that right now?
I'd say kindercat9@gmail because I will always get the email.
Yes.
I could put my phone number up, but unfortunately, we all get so many spam calls.
Yes.
And without having a person's identity in the phone system, I might not recognize it. And then my phone would say potential spam, you see?
Right.
So I say, and also I have clients throughout the world.
Yes.
So email is the best way because there's people in the UK, people in
Yes.
Canada, people in the Philippines, people in Africa that buy the patches. We have clients all over the world in about 100 countries. So the best way to reach me is on email because everybody has access to email. And then if it was overseas, we can always do WhatsApp and other methods. However, you cannot err on the side of contacting through email.
Right.
And I also have a new website coming up, which is susiemierzwik.com. That will launch probably in a couple weeks.
Okay. Well, let's put that up there.
Yeah.
And if somebody wanted to go in and do more research, where's the best place to research?
Certainly. Then I would advise them to go to lifewave.com, and that's LIFEWAVE, and then put a /685977. That's my personal account number. So somebody in another country, for instance, could go to lifewave.com /685977 and be able to buy from my website. As a matter of fact, when we were traveling in Australia a couple months ago, I met some new potential clients that are now LifeWave members, and she just contacted me through the email. Then she went on the website herself and signed up in Australia. And then I have other clients in Africa and the Philippines, and I even have one in there's a far northern outpost in Canada. Can't think of it right now, but it's pretty close to Santa Claus's house.
North Pole.
Yeah, pretty close to the North Pole. But anyway, what I'm saying is no matter where you find somebody throughout the globe, if they contact me through email, and then they can check on lifewave.com /685977, they will be buying directly from my website on LifeWave.
Yeah, I'm going to put that up. Can you just repeat the number again? So
yes, 68. Yeah.
Let's do that right now. You can help me by
lifewave.com.
Okay, let me do that. Yes, I should have asked you this earlier.
Right. Lifewave.com /68.
Yes.
59. 77.
Got it.
So then no matter where they are on the planet, they can buy from my link.
Beautiful.
And the good thing about LifeWave is that they have a guarantee. So if people buy a 90-day supply, they have a 90-day turnaround to try out the product and see how it works for them.
Wow. Cool. And can we have just like a ballpark cost? So let's say if I wanted to buy a package of Ice Wave.
Okay. So if you
How
wanted
many
to
patches?
right.
How many?
So first of all, every product comes with 30 pieces inside. So you think that's basically a month's supply. You don't have to use it every single day, but in the ballpark, that's a month's supply. If you buy 2 envelopes of any of the classic patches, it's about $100 US at wholesale.
Okay.
Now, if people are just going on the computer and saying, oh, I wonder what this is, they're going to get the retail price, which is about, $150. So that's why I say they should buy through my affiliate link, lifewave.com/685977. Then they can get the wholesale price.
Okay.
The product is in US dollars, but that'll have to be translated to your own currency.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
They can buy it retail, as I say, without me or anything else, but the price is higher. So I always suggest if you want to try it out, we have a preferred customer program where people can even try the product for 30 days. If they don't like it, if they return it within 30 days, they get their money back. However, if they like it, and most people do, they can get a preferred customer plus, in which case the company will send them free product every month as long as they're getting $100 purchase. So this way they can try everything. Let's just say they wanted to try the stem cell regeneration. A lot of people like that because it's an overarching wellness product. They will get samples every month while they're trying this product for 6 months. And then on the 6th month, they get a free whole envelope of any product they want.
Cool.
Okay. There's a small $20 cost involved with that, but they're getting way beyond the value of $20 over that 6-month time period.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So there's different ways people can, buy it economically, but it's best if they email me and I can guide them as to the best solution for them.
Well, people spend that at certain coffee shops. I won't mention any names.
That's right. And you know what? If you go to a coffee shop, it costs you way more than the cost of a patch for a day.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So it's about priorities.
Yes,
it's not really about the money.
Right.
It's about priorities. And you're probably eliminating bottles of painkillers, which you're buying now. I know they're not that cheap either anymore.
Right.
Yes, there's no question about the value for sure.
All about priorities.
That's right. Well, we're getting close to closing time here. We have about 6 minutes or so. So I'd like to share some announcements. And Susie, I want to thank you so much for being here and joining us on our Wellness Wednesday. And our first announcement is that Susie's going to join me again tomorrow, because tomorrow, Thursday, we feature authors, celebrities, people of inspiration, people who've done certain special things in the world and they want to tell their story. So Susie and I were involved in a compilation book here not too long ago. It's about showing up and the power is in the asking. So we're going to talk about that book. Susie has also published her own solo book, Sow in Tears, Reap in Joy, and we're going to talk about that book. So tomorrow, Susie's our author guest. So she wears many hats, but don't we all as women? We are multitaskers and we're very good at it, and it's quite okay. So we'll look forward to having Susie tomorrow. And just to review our show lineup on Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, we've reinstated one show that I've done years before. It's called my VIP episode, and that's VIP stands for Voices of Indigenous People. And on Monday, we launched that, and my guest was Diane LaFond, the very first First Nations health ombudsperson in this country. So that was a historical appointment, and we are really, really happy that she joined us on Monday. Tuesday, I do financial with my good friend Ramin Modiri. We do a financial program. And he was here to visit me a couple of weeks ago. We spent a week together in my home. And between he and I, we've come up with a new product line called 100 Shades of Prosperity, which we know is going to be hugely successful because it's hugely needed. Our financial education, wellness, we always need good information. There's so much information out there, sometimes people hardly know what to do. Don't eat this food, don't eat that food. This is how you lose your belly fat overnight. I just see it all around me. And Susie, you might be quite proud of me. I went yesterday, my first appointment. I've signed up at a gym.
Oh,
Yeah, because I've got little trouble spots where I want to lose, some weight and get muscled up so my arms don't sag and all that. And so wellness is big. And then on Thursday, of course, our inspirational authors, etc. So I also changed my show time. We used to be on at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We're now on at 10 in the morning, and 3 platforms that we broadcast live. So just letting people know, the one thing that we ask is that you share the show. So you can share it from the Facebook page, Self-Worth the Missing Link Superstars. You can share it from YouTube because we're broadcasting there right now. And we never know where the show is going to land. So if Susie shared information today and you know somebody who really needs this information, target them when you share the show. So, your friend Jill has diabetes, and your brother-in-law has a heart condition, and your whatever it is. So target it and share it with people who could benefit from the information. And that's all we ask from our show viewers. We don't charge anything for our show. You can be on the show. That's the other thing. If you have a story that you want to tell, then just like Susie had a story today, then feel free to contact me. And this is our one of my numbers. You can reach me to text me or call me. If you'd like to be on the show, that's an awesome opportunity. And of course, we broadcast with E360 TV. That's our platform, our mother platform. So over to you, Susie. We'll give you the mic to I just want to thank you again so much. And I'll see you for a few minutes after the show. And any words of encouragement you'd have out there for anybody who's really struggling with discomfort of any kind.
yes. Well, I just like to assure people that there is hope, there is help, and you have no risk at all if you try the LifeWave patches. We know that if you buy a bottle of vitamins or a bottle of anything at the pharmacy, you do not get your money back if it doesn't work out. Or if the doctor tries 10 different things with you, you do not get your money back. But if you try LifeWave, you do have a guarantee that you'll get your money back if you've used the product, not just kept it in your drawer, and within 30 days or 90 days as prescribed, you do not get relief. The second thing I like to say is we do not treat, diagnose, or try to medicate you in any way, shape, or form. This is a technology that allows the body to heal itself by putting it in the proper healing modality. We can eliminate pain, we can eliminate toxins, we can eliminate inflammation, and the body will do the rest when it's put in the proper environment. So thank you so much for having me on your show, Laurie. It's always a pleasure to share, and I get great delight in seeing people feel better.
Exactly. And that's why you're here. So we're going to say goodbye now, and we'll be back tomorrow, Susie and I, same time, same station. And we're going to talk about books tomorrow. And Susie, come prepared to read a little bit. I'm going to read a little bit from my chapter, and you be prepared to maybe pick a paragraph or two and read from each of the books you're representing tomorrow. Okay?
Sounds great. Sounds
All right.
great. Thank you, Laurie.
Bye for now, everybody.
Bye.